You can see my page through Facebook, Michael the Medium. Please like and share that too. I go live on many occasions, which you'll see on my page anyway. Yeah, so we're going to start with just saying hi to some people now. Yeah, yeah. So we've got the VIP here on the Spiritual Productions page. We have the VIP members area, which is a very minimal donation. It's $1 per month. Per month, it's very minimal, but it helps to the cause, to this brilliant page. It works out $1, which is 83 pence. If you sign up, you get to go onto the patrons private VIP, and they have many different events for the VIPs, which can be very interesting. It also helps It also helps the Spiritual Productions page to stay alive and well, which is a very good page to be on. I'm grateful for you all turning up today to all listen, and I hope you all like what I'm about to speak to you about. Okay, I'm going to say some hellos. Hello to Terry Wall. How are you? I hope you're well. Lisa. Oh, Lisa, how are you? Hi, Lisa. We'll wait for some more to pop up to say hi to people. Angie, how are you, Ange? How are you? Wendy Payne, how are you? They're coming in a little bit slow, so please bear with me. Lisa Lee. Lisa, I know. Lisa Lee, how are you? Hope you guys are well. Katie, how are you? If you haven't already liked the page, please like and follow. That'd be great. Ellie, I think it's Ellie. How are you? Daniela, hi. Pleased to meet you all. Patty, Vanessa, pleased to meet you. I'm very grateful for you guys coming to watch. Andrea, how are you? I hope you guys are well. Donna Thompson, pleased to meet you. Kim Gary, Kim, how are you? I know you double well. Kim, Catherine, how are you? Di, how are you? Di Redman, Andrea, hey. Marcus Lapsa, I think I've spelt that right. Stephanie, how are you? Elaine O'Rourke, hi. Christine, hi. Sally Gardiner, how are you? Katie Rose, nice to see you. Tina, how are you? Nice to see you, Tina. Jane Ashton, hi. So, guys, um, if you haven't already liked the page, please like and follow. Hello to everybody. Jeanette, Preston, hi. How are you? Pauline Durrell, Gemma Clark, Donna, how are you? No problem. Yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem. Yeah, 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 no problem. So, guys, today is going to be expressing, it's called My Life, My Journey. This show is called My Life, My Journey. It's about speaking about my life and where it's been through non believing to becoming awakened through a dark stage in my life. We would also like to take on other people that have experiences. If you'd like to come on through actual video where we can see you, so I can host the show and speak to you direct, or you can do it through phone call. That's not a problem. We can put that number up direct, and you can call in and speak to us direct. And we're going to be speaking about my life and where it's been and expressing it, and hopefully people will be able to understand and maybe have the same experiences but not being able to express it. And this is where we're going with it. And so I'm so grateful for you all being on here. What was you saying there, Richard? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so I can start now, yeah? O- Okay, yes, that's it. I'll get carried away. So maybe through this show, we're gonna introduce some readings too, because I'm a medium. I receive messages from the loved ones that are passed over. So we might, not 100%, but we might pass on some readings as well. maybe during the show. Um, but yeah, we'll start off with talking about my life and where it's been, and then maybe during the show, maybe pass on some readings too to help you guys out. Thank you for all coming along. Deborah Smith, thank you. Vicky Burke, hi. How are you all? So I'm going to start off talking about my life and where I was, where I'm at the moment, to where I was before, and then I'll talk my way through it. So I'm now a medium. I connect directly with the loved ones that are passed over. I'm grateful enough where I can hear them in my ear, and I pass on some really beautiful messages to help heal people. That is what I do. Um, before before all this, I was a non-believer. Before all this, I was a non-believer. I didn't believe in this. Used to just live a normal life. I used to run around doing silly things and just living a normal life, not even thinking of the spirit world. And I was oblivious to life. I was oblivious to it. I was oblivious to life, and I was earning money, paying my bills, living to survive. Um, and it wasn't the way. It was very impulsive. I was a very impulsive person, very impulsive thinker. I used to do things and make mistakes in life, and I've made many mistakes in life. Um, I've made many mistakes in life, being very impulsive. And I went through life committing crime, doing stupid things I shouldn't be doing in life, and it led to me making many mistakes in life, which I don't regret. I don't regret because they've made me who I am now, and now I'm a great person. But them mistakes, if I was taught that beforehand, maybe I could have been more aware. And that's what I do look back at and think, if maybe I'm not to blame my parents or anyone else that was around me, but if I was more aware of life, maybe I could have made the right decisions. But I wasn't, and so I made the choices to make mistakes in life. And but it's brought me to here now, and this is what I'm expressing and experiencing with you guys. Um, about 5 years ago, I had an awakening. About 5 years ago, I had an awakening, and I was able to hear the spirit world. And before that, I was led life through drugs and crime and doing things that I shouldn't be doing, and really unaware of everything. And I really struggled with life. I struggled with life. I didn't know who I was, where I was going. I didn't have no path in life. I really struggled. I really struggled. And I lived a life of earning a lot of money, doing silly things, which then led to the addiction of, I used to take cocaine, and it led to me taking this drug, which then I used to take on a daily basis, and it got so bad where I started things that were really not nice, and I thought I was going mentally crazy, like crazy to the point of where I needed a mental hospital. It was that bad, and they were telling me really weird things. They were affecting my life. Nothing was going right in my life. Um, and one night, at about 2, 3 in the morning, 3 a.m., I had these, and I was out my face on drugs, and I felt like I needed a mental hospital, and I cried my eyes out, and I said to my missus, I need a mental hospital. I'm hearing these voices, and they're telling me they're going to kill me. They're going to burn the house down. I'm not going to go too much there, but it was a really bad place to be in, and that was through the addiction. Um, the addiction led me to opening up a door in my mind or wherever it would be to hearing the spirit world. But I didn't realize this, but it opened up the door to me hearing the bad energies, the demonic energies, which then led me to make many mistakes, and I become very aggressive. and I lost character. I didn't know who I was. And that night at 2, 3 in the morning, I broke down to my missus and said to her, I need a mental hospital. And she said to me, what are they telling you to do? And I said, they're telling me to do this, this, and this. And she said, just stop it. Just stop doing what they're telling you. And so in my mind, because they were telling me they were going to hurt me and they were going to burn the house down, in my mind, where I'd been used to it for so long, I didn't know whether it was right or wrong, whether they were going to affect me or not. And so she said to me, Michael, it's not real. It's not real. What you're hearing now is not real. And so she said, just stop what they're telling you to do. And so I stopped. I completely stopped what they were telling me. Completely stopped. I completely stopped. And within half an hour, I started getting a really horrible, really weird noise. And I can't explain it. It was a horrible, weird noise and a darkness over the bedroom where I was in. We were in the bedroom. It was 2, 3 in the morning. And there was like a darkness over the bedroom. And I got up to go to the toilet. And as I come back, this thing would not allow me to sit down on the bed. And I was trying to move it. And I was at the door and I was trying to move whatever was in front of me. It wouldn't allow me to. And it started pinching me, biting me, scratching me. It was horrendous. And I managed to sit down on the bed. I was screaming to my missus, I can't get it, I can't get it, I can't sit down. So when I managed to sit down, she got up and I managed to sit down. And we had a little baby at the time. He's now 5, but he was only 6 months old. And they made his face change and his face went really fat and he looked dead and his eyes were just plain. And I looked down and he just looked dead and I picked him up. And we ran out the house at like 3 in the morning. We went and stayed in a hotel. As soon as I left the house, my little boy started screaming with breath. Ah! And so they were trying to do something to him completely. So what happened was we went and stayed in the hotel. As we were driving off from the house, all the lights were flickering in the house. It was crazy. The house, it looked like The Exorcism. It was mental. I've never experienced nothing like it. The car alarm was going off as we were driving down the road. So we've drove off to the hotel. My missus knows a friend that knows a lady that is a demonologist. And we rang her and I expressed everything and said, I've got this addiction. I've got all this going on. We had to leave the house. My little boy looked like he was going to die. And she told me the next day, she said, you're going to have to go back to the house on your own to open the windows. I need to clear this house out. So I managed to go. I had the bottle to go back to the house. I had the bottle to go back to the house and open the windows. I opened the windows. She told me to do certain things. She managed to clear the air and it wasn't that bad in there anymore. Like there would be a feeling in there. If there's bad stuff, there's a feeling. I can't express it, but there's a bad feeling. Very dark. Well, she managed to clear them. We then went back to the house the next day. And about 1 o'clock in the morning, I woke up to being electrocuted on the bed, and I literally couldn't move. I was shaking. I was going all over. I couldn't move. I woke up and I couldn't move, and I was being electrocuted. And as I got off the bed, I woke her up. I woke the missus up, and I said, "I've had a really bad experience here. We need to leave the house." And she lifted up my top, and there was a big lump on my back, and it was like a golf ball size lump on my back. It was literally a golf ball size. It was massive. Still got the marks today. And there was 3 pussy holes on the back of my back, on the back of this lump. There was 3 pussy holes. And my missus is a nurse. She's training to be a nurse. And so she's been in that game for a long time. And what she done, she cleaned off the pussy holes and said, Michael, they're internal. They're like really deep. And I said, I don't know what's happened. I've been in bed. So what happened was we went to the hospital and they said I've been electrocuted by an electric pylon. Which isn't true. I was in bed, and the next day we managed to come home and settle down. The next day I could hear this ringing in my ear. It was like a loud ringing, and I've got it still to this day. I've got it all day, every day. And I spoke to this demonologist who said, look, Michael, I think you can hear the spirit world. Now, I was a non-believer. I didn't believe nothing like this. It was out of my league. It was out of my league completely. And she said, look, I feel like they're trying to communicate with you. And she's a medium herself. And she said to me, I'm aware that there are spirits that are trying to work with you. I'm really cold and goosebumps. And she said, I feel like there's someone that's trying to work with you. And the noise in your ear is you being able to hear them. So I said, I very much doubt it. And I sort of brushed it off. So I went home, and this noise was getting louder and louder and louder and louder until I started hearing the noise change, like someone was speaking. And it wouldn't happen all the time, but it would happen, and it would just change. And where she had planted that in my mind, I then started speaking. I then started speaking to the noise and saying, is there someone there? And the noise would change. And I'm like, oh my God, I was going to swear then. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. There's something there that's trying to communicate with me. And I didn't know what it was. And for the next week, I started having really bizarre experiences in the house. Like I was sitting on my sofa watching TV, and I had a pint of glass of water down on the floor, and that was only half full. And I could feel, I was watching TV, non-aware of nothing, ringing in my ear, going off like the clapper, and a freezing cold feeling around my legs, freezing cold. And I looked down at the glass, and I'm like, oh, my legs are really cold. And I looked down at the glass, and the glass was ice chilled. It was, and this is gospel, hand on my heart. It was ice chilled. And I picked it up and I said, look at that glass, it's ice chilled. And it was warm before, and it was ice chilled. And it was really weird because I could sense that there was someone around me, like a little girl. And I said to my missus, I said, this a really weird feeling. Like I can sense like there's someone around us, but I can't see them. And my ear started ringing, and it was loud and loud, and it used to get louder and louder. And so throughout the next few days or week, I started getting really bizarre experiences, like seeing orbs and seeing all sorts of stuff. And it was really bizarre. And so what I started doing, I used my initiative, and every time the noise would change or I could feel something like a presence, I would then speak to it like we are doing now. And I would speak to it and say, is there anybody there? Is there anybody there? And the noise would change in my ear. And I'm like, oh my God, there's someone there, right? And so from being a non-believer to being a believer, to start noticing that actually there's got to be something here, because whatever held me away from the bed proved to me that there's another existence here, right? And so I started tuning into it and saying the noise and saying, can you say hello? And then the noise would change. Can you say yes? And the noise would go really high. I now understand it's a frequency, but I would say, can you say yes? And the frequencies would go really high. And then can I say no? And the frequency would go really low. So then I started understanding there's something here. I've got something here. And so the demonologist lady who I speak with, I haven't for quite a while, but we used to speak for a long time. She would say to me, I used to contact her and say, I've got this noise and there's something speaking to me. And she's like, I told you, Michael, they're trying to communicate with you. I can help you with it. And so I went to her and she was like, just speak with them. Just speak with them. Try and understand who they are, what they want. And one thing that they kept telling me, now before all this, I was into crime, drugs, alcohol every day, constant drug taking, mixing with the wrong people. I wasn't aware of life. I wasn't aware of nothing. And what this done, it brought the awareness to actually there's something here. And what they used to do is say to me, drink, or what I could, in my mind, I would always get, now it was my voice. It was my voice. But I don't think of water all the time, right? And they used to put in my mind, water. And I always used to go to the tap and drink water, excuse me. And I was always drinking water. And I was drinking water, never ending water. And so what they were doing, they were helping me. They were helping me, and that's what I started realizing. And then I turned, then the more I spoke with them, the more I could understand what they were saying. And they were saying to me, meditation, meditation, meditation. And it was like repetitive. They would always say meditation. And so I'd never thought about meditation, never didn't have no understanding about it. But I used to sit on the sofa and have this really weird zoning out time where I'm just zoning out, and I'd close my eyes and my eyes would roll back to the back of my head. And I started getting this pulsation on my forehead. And they kept talking about the third eye, the third eye. And I would get this pulsation on my forehead and I would zone out, and I wouldn't purposely do it, but it would just naturally happen to me. Like, and I'd think, all right, I'll go with it because of all these other experiences. I thought I'll go with it. And so my eyes would roll to the back of my head and I'd get this pulsation on my forehead. Sometimes it would be like someone was blowing on my forehead, like a cool breeze. I call it a cool breeze. And it's like a cool breeze on my forehead. And I would have these really weird experiences. I'd have these really weird experiences. And I now know it's through meditation. Like, I'd be sitting on my sofa and I'd be zoning out, rolling my eyes, and I wouldn't even realize I'm doing it. And I'd get this pulsation on my forehead. And eventually, when the pulsation, I get the pulsation on my forehead all day now. And so my attention is always at that point. And we'll go to the third eye a little bit after, but it would roll to my eyes, would roll to my head, and I'd get a pulsation on my forehead, and which I now know is the third eye. And so my life went from non-believing, doing drugs, drinking, doing things I shouldn't be doing, to becoming really, really aware that actually there's this presence that wants to look after me. And I'm aware that this lump on my back, the electrocution to the lump on my back, saved me. Whatever it was, whoever that was, saved me from the addiction, because the addiction. Every time I thought of cocaine afterwards, it would make me feel sick, and I'd get every time I'd think of it before it would have to be, because I was so addicted. It would be, I need it, I need it, I need it. But now, after that, after the lump on my back and being electrocuted, or whatever it was going on with the lump on my back, I then become, to every time I thought of it, it would make me feel sick, and it would repulse me, and I wouldn't want nothing to do with it. And so something saved me. And so the noise in my ear, I think they opened me up to the spirit world, which now now pass on. It's been 5 years, and it's only a short time. That's a very short time, but it's been 5 years now. And I now pass on the beautiful messages from the spirit world. But what I did learn was to speak with them through my ear. And when the noise used to get, and I got the noise all day and all night, but you can make it go louder. And if you take your attention away from it, it will go lower. And that's what I learned with this, is that you can tune in. And so you put your attention to that noise. And when the noise gets louder, you can then speak with them, and they do really help you. Like, they've helped me through meditation. I've completely changed my life. I've completely changed. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't mix with anybody anymore. I've come away from everybody because I see people differently now. I'm really more aware of what's going on, and so my life is way more straight. It's way more straight, and things are going good for me. And my life is way more, I'm way more aware of what's going on in my life and in the world and around people. My senses are way more stronger. I'm way more observant with people when they speak with me. And that's huge for me. And so I wanted me and Richard have designed this show for people like me that want to come onto this show